Now my neighbor likes where I stay, but doesn't know the price that I pay.
5 Points, a neighborhood of gracious Victorian brick houses and tree-lined streets near downtown Denver, is now home to successful businesses, to arts, poetry, and music venues, museums, and so on. 5 Points has a strong identity and a proud history, but it remains vulnerable to economic downturns, bad city planning, and to the ugly side of gentrification. Our 5 Points story night and performances happened at the Crossroads Theater.
So what's the difference between Wheatridge and Cole?
Front porches versus back porches. In Wheatridge, neighbors don't know each other because people hang out in their larger houses and in the backyards more. And then in the Cole neighborhood, neighbors at least know each other's names and say hi to each other because people hang out on the front porches more often.
To me, the most interesting thing is that although the sign says Sona's Tamales, the locals around here all call it the Pig Ear Shack. And that's because of a specialty sandwich they have where they actually fry the whole ear of a pig and then serve it as a sandwich.
It goes from rich, white, entitled, yuppie folks to pretty much down on their luck homeless folks. There's a certain amount of camaraderie and there's kind of a foxhole mentality. I mean, it is one of the poorer sections of town.
The population at Hallett was 70% African American kids. No one in the community besides myself would go over to Hallett when we heard that it was closing to assist the parents to make a case for keeping the school open. And of course, the school is closed, so you know the outcome. In that same neighborhood, on the same street, about 4 blocks down from the school, there is a coffee shop called Perk Hill. Perk Hill had a plastic play structure out by the sidewalk, so people could go to the coffee shop and put their kids in the play structure and drink their coffee and chat. The landlord told the business owner that the play structure had to go. All hell broke loose in Park Hill to save this play structure. An anonymous donor gave $10,000 to keep the play structure in place. The school closed and over 100 kids were sent out of the building to 2 of the worst schools in the state of Colorado. I find Denver not to be very friendly.
My neighbor thinks he wants to be me, but he'll never be.
The Pig Ear Shack. Open over 50 years. Links the 5 points of yesterday to the 5 points of today.
Drawings that I did were based on the Thursday night stories. And this was a young man named Henry. He took a raft trip. I just liked the lights and I liked Henry's face. He was very earnest. And this was a gentleman named TJ. He talked about his front porch, how he likes a neighborhood where you can sit on the front porch. This is Steve, technical director here, and he was talking about Zona's soul food. And he was talking about pig ear sandwiches. It really stuck in everybody's mind. It was in a number of the performances.
So just take it in. This is random things that just between us and between a bunch of people just walking around wrote down.
I'm sick and tired. I don't know. He lives all alone. Just a scared of the darkness.
As As the neighborhood struggles towards greater racial and economic diversity, it faces challenges.
There is nothing about white people that black people don't know. Like, it is absolutely impossible for a black person to grow up in America and not know about white people. But it is absolutely possible and usually likely that you're going to have white people that grow up in America and don't know anything about black people. And that's why you get the sense of like, you know, that's why I want people to be open and free. Because if you don't know, the only way you're ever going to know is to ask.
And I think this is very healthy because that's the only way you get to know a human being. I don't care if you're black, white, in my opinion. Listen to that story, that's where you'll find their journey.
The thing that I noticed was the connection starting to be made between people. That's a very hard thing to do, is to develop relationships.
I wasn't here Thursday, but just from seeing the performances, I actually understood what the whole neighborhood was about. And it really touched me.
I feel like it's really easy to second guess the statements that you want to make or what is this about, but when you just take the little seedlings and share it with people, I think that's when the magic and the dialogue can really begin.
In its first iteration, the project just wanted to shine a light on the stories and the people of a handful of Denver's very different coexisting communities. From each event, themes for further exploration were noticed and drawn out. From the importance of civility in a diverse society to specific concerns ranging from the economic to the sociocultural, citizens determined what to talk about and what to take forward.
To see where you guys are going will be interesting. I think that there are a lot of interesting neighborhoods in Denver, and from the four you've named, I think you've just scratched the surface. I think there are a lot of places as interesting as 5 Points, both on the east side and the west side. So I think it'd be interesting to get more of the city involved in it, and hopefully as y'all continue, you'll get a bigger and bigger turnout because more of the neighborhoods will be familiar with your work.
I am sort of an activist, and I believe that this is a great model for getting people together and getting them talking to each other. And someone earlier said something about what's the goal. Well, the goal is to get back to what we don't have anymore, and that's that front porch conversation, which we don't have anymore. That is the goal, to humanize people again.
Do you love me? No need to complicate or talk philosophy. Love one another is what we need. Ain't that the way that Jesus said it?